What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, as you can see behind me, we have the car trailer and the truck and a bunch of vehicles in the driveway, but we gotta go ahead and we gotta move this one, move that one, because it's Memorial Day weekend and it's a little bit of time off that I have. No customers, nothing. So we're gonna hopefully try and motor swap this pig that I don't even know if you guys have seen any content on this channel yet, but it's a 2007 Mini Cooper that I blew the motor up on it. And so we're finally gonna replace the motor, and I got the built motor, as you guys seen all the stuff for it. We've been building that motor, so I gotta do the motor swap, gotta clean it, everything like that. It's been sitting over in this spot for many years, I think like 3 or 4. So yeah, gonna go ahead and do that and then load it up on the trailer and get it over to the shop so I can motor swap it. So I look forward to doing that, but it's gonna be a lot of work, and that's just not the fun part. So let me load it up on the trailer and then we'll go from there. Alrighty guys, so car is all strapped down to the trailer. We ended up clipping the front little bottom valence air dam piece, but that is what it is. This car's low. Minis probably aren't supposed to be this low, and this one's gonna get switched out. Suspension, everything has to be gone through, but obviously the car kind of has to run before I worry about anything else. Otherwise it's all a waste of money. So I have to bring this to the shop, and then I gotta wash it because, as you guys can see, it sat outside for 3 years, and well, the car cover didn't stay on it very often. All 4 tires are probably junk, so we'll go ahead and we'll make a list of everything that we got to do and buy and replace. And I plan on having this probably another like $2,000 I got to add to it, but that's just what happens when you let a car sit. And you said you were going to build it within a year, and then it became like 3 years. But it is what it is. So all right, I will catch you guys at the shop where we'll unload it and do everything from there. Peace. All right guys, what is going on? We have the Mini Cooper back in the shop, or I should say in the shop. It's actually never been here, but we're gonna go ahead and we are gonna start the tear down of getting into service mode, and then obviously putting the engine that is over there into this, and hopefully it runs. And by the end of this weekend, which it is Memorial Day weekend, hopefully by the end of this weekend, either tomorrow, which will be Sunday, or Monday, I will actually have this motor done and the car will be able to drive out of here, and that'll be pretty awesome. Right now I'm actually getting the TV hooked up to my phone so that I can go ahead and remember how to, or watch a few videos to remember how to put this thing in the service mode, and then from there I should be able to figure out how to do everything. But we still have a bunch of parts that we'll have to swap over to that motor. I don't have very many spare parts for this car, never did. Never really got around to modifying this car heavily. But either way, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna tear it apart. I know you have to do a whole bunch of stuff on the front end. I don't remember what all comes off, but I believe the front bumper and a bunch of other things. So I'm gonna go ahead and learn that shit. We're gonna go ahead and tear it apart and get it put in the service mode. I'll kind of give you as much information as I can, but again, it's been a really long time since I've done this car. I don't remember very much about it, so I have to learn just as much as I have to show. So bear with me. Hopefully I can make some good content for you guys. Either way, at least we have the Mini here, and we're about to do the motor swap. So we'll go ahead and find out some information, and then we'll get the build going. All right, guys, so a little bit of a progress update. We pretty much put it into service mode, which it's pretty much, as you can see, it looks like we take off the whole front end, but really all we do is we take off the front bumper, we pull the crossbar out, cross member out, I can't think, bash bar, that's what I think it's called. Pretty sure it's called bash bar. You have to take the headlights out, the grill off, the like upper trim piece, I'll show you. There's a cross trim piece. Excuse me. But yeah, so now we're gonna work on actually getting the motor out. I believe this might have to come farther forward because I'm pretty sure I dropped the cross member to drop the motor out. But what I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna detach everything that's attached to the motor. So the intake, the turbo and everything will either come off before or after I take the motor out. I'm not really sure. Motor goes down on this one, so I'll take out the motor mounts, take out this, take out the intake track going into the intake manifold, which is back there. And like I said, I might take the intake out right now, or I might wait. The transmission's probably gonna come out with it. Other than that, I really don't think that there's too much more to do. So I might take out, I think I'll have to take off the wheels to take out the axles. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm pretty sure I have to get, like I said earlier, I'm pretty sure I'll have to get 4 new tires, but I mean, when a car sits, I don't expect it to be great. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm gonna do, is just start getting at it and taking out what I can think to take out. As you guys can probably see, my dad's not here. So I've never actually pulled a motor 100% by myself, but I know the gist of how to do it. So he might be stopping in throughout the video. You might see it. Right now he's at my house, or at the house, doing a bunch of other stuff. So he might end up here, he might not. I'm sure he's gonna wanna come help. He always likes to help, which is fine, but this is gonna be my first motor that I'm probably gonna pull and put together by myself, which is honestly really good because I really wanna learn. I wanna be able to say I can do it. So I also went ahead when I pulled the front crossbar out, pulled both the intercooler tubes, so the pipe going there and the charge pipe, pulled those off, but yeah. What's going on, guys? Good morning. We are back for day 2 of hopefully 2, but most likely of 3, if not more. But
and his dad finally showed up.
yeah, he ended up showing up like, I don't know, 10 minutes after the last clip that I said he wasn't here. I said he might show up. Yeah, he showed up like 10 minutes later, but it is what it is. He was able to help me. He reminded me of some things that I didn't think of, like fuel lines and stuff, just because I was working on it. And again, this is my first full swap that I've done at that time almost fully by myself. So he came through and he helped me get some stuff undone. So as you can see, pretty much it looks pretty similar to what it was. Everything's gone on the front end. Downpipes unbolted. I have to go underneath and take care of the exhaust underneath, but all the O2 sensors are out, fuel lines are off. The power to the starter is disconnected. I have to come disconnect it from the alternator. Charge pipe, basically all the intercooling stuff is off. The intercooler is off because the coolant that I drained ended up going half into the intercooler, so that got taken out. I might do a front mount on this, but I also don't plan on keeping this car, so we'll see what ends up happening with that. But yeah, we're pretty close to dropping this motor. Obviously motor mounts and everything, and we have to take care of the AC condenser, the starter, and then we have to figure out if we're just going to drop the motor or if we're going to drop motor and trans and then separate trans later. Either way, probably have to take out the axle halves or half axles, whatever you want to call those, and then go from there. So a little bit more work to do, but got quite a ways yesterday. Again, basically you just got to think about it and think of everything that's attached to a motor and trans in this case, because easiest way probably to take it out is motor and trans. Got the shifters, linkages off, everything like that. So without any more rambling, we got a pretty far ways, or at least I got pretty far ways, and then he helped me get a little bit farther. I wanted to drop it last night, but we decided that probably wasn't a good idea. I had a super late start on it. Got started on it at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And so it is what it is, but today I'm gonna try and at least get this motor out and everything swapped over. And then depending on what all happens, maybe the other motor will start going in. Not really sure, but either way, I still have another day to do it. So we'll see where it goes. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue working. Again, I don't know too much of the information that we're gonna do, so I'm gonna do more time lapse and then I'll update you guys probably when the motor's coming out. So see you guys in a little bit.
Jesus.
Where?
Just make sure by the electrical box you're not hitting anything.
Again. What, you trying to fall forward?
Yeah, it's trying to pull forward. The AC is still connected? Still hitting?
God, Jesus, that's weird.
That what?
That scared me.
Okay. What's going on?
It is. Seems like it's still hooked.
On an AC line?
Can't figure out.
We grabbed that AC line when we were going up. Watch it. It's connected right there, isn't it?
I can't tell.
Oh, okay. You gotta use lights. Can't think it. You don't need it. Can't do any more until you tell me what's going on. Pinch between the It's hot right here. Get your hand out of there before it gets broken. So that bracket was not supposed to get broken.
All right, guys, so a quick little update. Definitely it's been a while since we've worked on the Mini Cooper because we did not remember how we had done the last motor. As you probably saw, we definitely thought it came out the bottom. Too much stuff fighting us. Probably could have made it come out the bottom if we would have taken out the K-member. But we really didn't want to deal with all that. We kind of want to just make an easy swap from that to this. So as you can see, everything's out of here. The AC got a little caught, so that kind of frustrated both of us and made it a little difficult, but overall it's not too bad. So now obviously this motor has everything on it. It's got to be swapped over to that motor, and then it goes back in the car. So that is the next step, is to swap everything over. It's gonna be really fun. So all right, guys, so I didn't really show it. We just busted out some work. We swapped pretty much everything from this motor over to the new motor, put a few new parts on the new motor. We just took off the transmission off of this motor. In case you see any videos or anything and you see people say, I watched a video, they said you can't take the transmission off with this oil housing filter adapter all on it. And well, although I didn't have a video of it, it's kind of proof because I wouldn't just put it back on, just say you can't. So transmission's off, obviously. It's gonna go on this one and then gonna go back in the car. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're sitting now. Gotta get the clutch off, swap everything, the last little bits over to this car, and then we'll be done. All right, guys, so a quick little update. We're getting ready to do some clutches, and I actually happen to have 2 clutches because I've bought another motor and everything. Either way, I ended up with 2 clutches. So I'm gonna have my dad, because he understands way more about clutches and everything else, to kind of teach both of us exactly like what we're looking at and everything, because honestly I wouldn't even be able to tell you if one was junk or one wasn't. So we're gonna obviously pick which one's better out of the 2 of these, because we have 2 of them, but he's gonna go ahead and he's gonna kind of break it down and explain it to us.
So if you see this clutch here, you can see that the pressure plate actually has some hot spots on it, which isn't good. And then you can see here that the edge of the clutch has started to wear. These lines are supposed to be all the way through, so if you look at this one, you can see the lines are all the way through on both sides, which means it has more material left on it than this one does. So if you look on the back of here, you can see that it's starting to wear right here on the edge. So that tells me that this clutch is worn out. This is probably the clutch that we're gonna end up using then. They look like they're the exact same size, but they do look a little bit different. So if you look at them, they look like they're a little bit different style, thickness, make. So you want to make sure you're using it with the same clutch. Clutch, pressure plate, clutch, pressure plate. So this was with this, and this was with this. And again, you can see that this pressure plate doesn't have any hot spots on it. It's got a little dirt on it, but it doesn't have any hot spots on it. Where, again, this one does have some hot spots. So that means this clutch started wearing out, and you could see it was gonna start slipping. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this clutch in. We did get the flywheel resurfaced, and they did cut down the mounting surface on it also, because when they machine the base of it, then you have to machine the mounting surface of it so that everything ends up where it's supposed to be, same tolerance.
So we actually have one right here that we can kind of look at.
You can look at this pressure plate.
I'll have him explain it right here.
So this flywheel here, again, you can see all the hot spots that are here. All these hot spots are not good. That means that what's happening is the clutch is slipping and it's making hot spots in here. If you look at the new one that we've got, now it's on the engine stand, you can see it just barely, but you'll be able to see that we had it machined and surfaced so that it's nice and clean and ready to go. And when they did that, they machined this surface, but they machined these posts also. So they machined them down as much as they machined this. So the clutch will sit in the exact same spot.
Now, the one thing I do want to mention is if you're going to go this far into a build, I was slightly tight on money while I was building it. Looking back now, obviously everyone says it. I probably should have bought a few more parts, but you know, when you're this deep into something, you should probably just try and buy as many new parts as you can. I mean, I get it. Some people are tight on money. Honestly, I was probably the tightest one on money on doing this. The whole build costed, the whole rebuild kit costed like $3 grand. Clutch is probably only like $5 to $800, depending on which one you're gonna get. And between the 2 choices I have, neither one of them are really great, because it looks like by the time, if I end up keeping this car any long distance of time, it looks like it'll probably need a clutch pretty quick within probably, I don't know, 10,000 miles-ish. We'll see. I drive my cars hard. It's kind of why they end up blowing up. But if you're gonna get this far into it, you probably should just buy a new clutch. I mean, if you're spending $3 grand, like I said, on a kit, you might as well do it. And this is pretty much what you have to do on these cars in order to replace the clutch. So looking back now, although I was tight on money, I probably should have just said screw it and bought a new clutch. It's not really a big deal to us. We do plan on selling the car. Obviously, I want to sell the car as good condition it is, and that clutch should work just fine for someone to drive it. Not very many people are probably gonna beat on this car like I do, but it is what it is. It's a learning experience, something you guys can look forward to. I'll reference probably 1 or 2 clutches in the bottom description of this video. I have heard a lot of good things of ACT. He's done his own clutches in his car. He has his own brands. Everyone kind of has their own brands. Only thing I wouldn't go with is for a street car, I wouldn't go with a puck clutch. I'd stay with a style like that. If you don't know what a puck clutch is, either I'll put one up in the screen, or you can just kind of look up a puck clutch. But either way, those ones kind of suck. I think he actually ran one for a while, and he hated it.
Yeah, they don't drive on the street very well. The problem with them is they want to be engaged or disengaged. They don't want to slip. They don't want to slide at all. They have so much force carried over 6 pucks or 4 pucks that the clamping force is awesome. They won't slip. But the problem is if you're trying to drive it on the street, you don't want to be revving it to 4 grand, dumping the clutch and taking off, squealing the tires all over the place.
So that's what you guys get. Hopefully you take away something from this. I know I haven't been recording the most of it, but we've been just kind of chilling, knocking it out, trying to get it done this weekend. So I will record as much more as I can, putting it back in. Don't know when that'll happen, but we're almost pretty much to that stage, I think. So I'll catch you guys in a little bit.
Try number 2.
Yeah, let's just see if it goes in, cool, we got it on camera. If not, all right guys, what's going on? So this is like, I don't know, 800th update, whatever. We're just trying to, work on this car, and he's really bad at being on camera or being involved in the camera, but shit was going south. You guys probably saw us try to put the transmission in twice. We were kind of fortunate the 2nd/3rd time we put it in after not taking it out. So before he messes with this, I'm gonna kind of have him show you. You can't really feel it, so you have to be able to just take my word for it. But right at the end of this, there's like we're gonna call it mushroomed basically. So when we put it on the transmission, it slides on the transmission till about that point on the input shaft, and then it basically gets stuck. So we're not sure if we did it, we're not sure if it was already like that, we're not sure about anybody of that, no need to play the blame game. But when we go to put the transmission in, we got it in, I would say within 1/4 of an inch of everything connecting all the way around, and maybe even less, maybe an 1/8 of an inch. Especially when we were really forcing it, but then we couldn't get it to come apart. So we're really hoping that when he cleans that up, we will be able to slide on easily, because this one goes on, I'll show you. You just slide it on, push the line for threads, and it was going on super easy. I mean, no problem. The other one, that he has in his hand would go on until about right here, maybe a little further, right about there, and then it would get stuck. Good afternoon, guys. What is going on? So today is like day 4 of trying to get the freaking Mini started, and we've been kind of thinking about it.
Only day 2 of getting the Mini started.
Okay,
Come on,
okay, day 2 of getting the Mini started, but like day 4 of freaking working on it, which is no big deal. I mean, we expected it to be somewhat of a pain in the butt. We got it to pretty much do everything, obviously, other than start. It rotates, does everything like that. Seems like it has good compression. Did not compression test it, but you can somewhat hear compression versus no compression. Either way, so what we did like 3 years ago, I was messing with the car trying to do something, and we ended up it basically stopped running. So that was where we were sitting. We didn't compression test it at that time, and we went out, and I forgot what else we were doing, but like I said, 3 years ago, we went out and we bought another computer, because there's an area around here that salvages Minis and other European cars. So they sold us a computer for like 75 bucks, and I was like, cool, whatever, we'll try it. Well, if you know anything about computers, which we really don't know enough, we didn't know enough about this car, nor do we know enough about this car. But either way, long story short, is basically these computers are locked to certain keys unless you have someone with a special code reader or whatever reprogram either the computer or the key to work. So right now we just kind of remembered that we had another computer, so we're gonna try and swap computers around. We're not sure which one was the original one, because like I said, it was like 3 years ago, but hopefully us swapping this around will actually solve the problem and it'll actually start. So that'll be amazing if it does. If it doesn't, then we got bigger problems. So we're gonna rip this out real quick and then we will go from there. All right, so as you can see, the computer is now in. Battery should be charged. We've been charging it all night. This battery probably has to be replaced anyways because it's probably junk. But he's gonna check the computer and make sure that we don't have any weird things being said. We'll see what we get. It already sounds more alive.
Which is very possible since it's the right computer for the car.
Oh, good lord.
You just want to try it before I do anything?
I mean, kinda.
All right, do it.
What's the worst that's gonna happen? It blows up, it turns on. Oh. You wanna go click the little red button on my computer? Alrighty, well, I guess we'll just find out if it runs. Fuck it. Well, that's unfortunate.